Good day everyone, I am Mark Ray Ibanez. For today's video, I will be going to have a book review entitled Arrow of God by Chinua Achebe. Arrow of God published in 1964. It is the third novel by Chinua Achebe. The plot. The novel is set in the rural villages of the Igbo people of Nigeria during the 1920s. And the story begins with a bitter feud between the villages of Umaro and Okperi. The residents of Umaro are at the brink of war with their neighbors in Okperi over a piece of disputed land. Nuaka, a man of considerable wealth and influence in Umaro, pushes for the war against the advisement of Izulu, the chief priest of Yulu, ruling deity of Umaro. In doing so, Nuaka defies Yulu, disregarding the deity, and his chosen representative is Yulu, the only man who advises against engaging the tribal warfare. The fight comes to a sudden halt through the involvement of an English colonial official, Captain Winterbottom, who enforces the peace by destroying all the firearms within Umaro. Winterbottom is compelled to side with Okperi after Izulu, resentful of his peoples, testify that Umaro has no legitimate claim to the land. Despite the avoidance of bloodshed, some residents of Umaro, including Nuaka, see Izulu's ceremony as a betrayal of his people. A period of 5 relatively peaceful years passes and a sense to return to Umaro. Christian missionaries have now made their way into Umaro, converting whoever they can and convincing the people that the worship of their old gods is sinful and an exercise in futility. Seeing the fate of the white man slowly take root and gain ground in their community, Izulu sends one of his sons, Udochi, to learn as much as he can of the white man culture by having him attend a church that the missionaries have set up in Umaro. Meanwhile, the between Izulu and Nuaka has worsened and is now full-blown antagonism. Nuaka bolsters his position through his friendship with high priest of the lesser god, who has long been jealous of Izulu's reigning power. The protagonist is Izulu, the antagonist is the Nuaka. Climax, Izulu comes into a conflict with himself in a quest to hold on the power despite his high age, and the breakthrough of the British colonial administrators. Izulu wants to control both his people and the British administrator. Izulu believes the clan will silently follow him and the British will respect him. Message of the literature to its reader. The message of the literature is that the pride leads to conflict, whatever the problem we are facing. We should sought solution because every problem there is an answer. Also, the conflict, it tears apart the communities, families, and individuals. The novel itself is filled with instances in which pride leads to violence and devastation. Character analysis. Izulu is the chief priest of Yulu, the god that rules Umaro. Nuaka is Izulu's nemesis. Every time you see Nuaka in Arrow of God, is challenging Yulu or criticizing Yulu's high priest Izulu. Winterbottom. Winterbottom is old school British military, patriotic, and obedient to commands from his superiors even when he disagrees with their orders. Obika is Izulu's son and is an irresponsible young man who drinks too much and acts impulsively. Uduchi, Izulu's next to youngest son, is proud to be his father's eyes and ears in the white man's culture by attending church and school. Idogo seems like a good-hearted man. He loves his wife and his child and worries about their health. He is respectful to his father and fulfills his duties to his family. Moses is the first Christian in Umaru, having spent several years on a mission station in a neighboring region, and as the only man in all of Umaru who speaks English, he feels like something of a local expert. Tony Clark starts out with some progressive ideas that in Africa he feels more comfortable with men like who may be morally questionable but seem to have less of a superior complex than men like Winterbottom. The theme. Arrow of God theme is religion. Arrow of God explores how Igbo spirituality and religious life dies and that when confronted by Christianity. Christianity is backed by the white man, military, and political power. As a result, Christianity is also identified with the source of their power. Who are the target audience of the literature? The target audience of the literature is the communities. Why? Because in communities, conflict can occur anytime issues that could cause arise within the community organization. Background life of the author and its relation to the literature. Chinua Achebe, born on 16 November 1930 to 21 March 2013, was a Nigerian novelist, poet, and critic who is regarded as the dominant figure of modern African literature in Ogidi, British Nigeria. Achebe's childhood was influenced by both Igbo traditional culture and post-colonial Christianity. He excelled in school and attended what is now the University of Ibadan, where he became firstly critical of how European literature depicted Africa. The symbol, Arrow of God. The Christian Church invites the people of Umwaro to sacrifice to the Christian God. When this happens, it symbolizes to the Christianity over traditional Umwaro religion. In my overall summary or my understanding about this novel is that the novel Arrow of God explores how Igbo spirituality and religious life dies death when confronted by Christianity, and is backed by the white man's military and political power. As a result, Christianity is also identified with the source of their power.